The statements of the ODM being sold is the one thing you keep referring to, but you can't tell us how much.
But I've asked you.
And you keep referring to
doesn't
that is one
it
that is just a
Trevor?
fallout with one person.
No, you are low. Doesn't it bother you? That a man is inherited before he is buried.
I'm not the one answering the questions. You're the one answering the questions.
I'm just saying, I'm just throwing a question.
You're the one answering the questions.
For your own mind.
Why would you say it's been bought?
But why don't you? Why are you not asking me to explain?
We're asking you to explain how much was it bought for, and you're not telling
Lots
us.
Of money.
How much?
A lot of money.
What was the deposit?
Lots of money.
Is it because one person leaves, then now a party has been bought?
Lots of money.
And I've asked you the same question. Have you bought Wiper and DAPK, the ones you're working with?
I don't know why you want to bring Wiper and DAPK.
Because it's a coalition. You're the one who's told us you've been in politics for long.
Well, Trevor, you have been very biased in this show, which is very unprofessional.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you very much, guys, for your greatest support. Now, fellow Kenyans, yesterday night there were two interviews. The first one was on Citizen TV, and the other one was on Radio Ramogi, on Ramogi TV. And I think the one that people really noticed was the one that was on Citizen TV. That is Jeff Koinange, the JKL. Which was held by Jeff, and he had got Gladys Wanga and the governor of Mombasa, that is Sharif, which according to some people, they are saying that it was just a waste of time because there is nothing constructive that Gladys Wanga and the governor themselves said. They were just talking about their own selfish desires or maybe their own selfish interest. There is nothing, literally nothing constructive that they said, which people can sit down and listen to. Anyway, in this one, I think I just did the first one. So if you've not watched the interview on Citizen TV, you can go the first video before this, the previous video before this, you can watch that. But on this one, I want us to watch the interview between Trevor Ombija and Gachagua. And there are a lot of things that I want us to talk about on this interview. But before that, fellow Kenyans, let me humbly request you that if at all you're meeting for the first time, don't forget to click the subscribe button. You can as well you can share. Drop me your comment at the comment section. Tell me what you think and where exactly you are watching this video from. And also to Bonita Media community, I have an announcement to make. And please watch this first before we talk about the video. There is this children's home. I visited it, had a deep talk, a conversation with the director. Both the director and the assistant director, we really talked. I saw the children. There were two kids who are abandoned by the mother after birth. I think 2 days. So the children are barely 10 days old. And others are also there. They're around 89 right now, and they told me that there are some in school, so wakirudi wote, the number will be around 100 plus. So we really talked, and they told me that if you can help us, if you guys can help us in 1, 2, 3 things, we'll be really glad to, and we'll really appreciate. Of course, we know very well that this is something that one person cannot do. Kukaa na watoto wote hata useme uko na only one source of help, it's something that it's impossible. So after that I had a brief talk. Nilikaa na watoto, the few that nilipata, wengine nilipata kama wanalala. I just talked to the few, I interacted with the few of them, just kids here and there. And I said that I told them that I have a team which I know that will respond, and after they've responded, I'll get back to you with what they give me. So I just have to request you guys, you are 50 shillings, you are 100 shillings, you are 200 shillings, you are 300, 400, 500 shillings, you are 1,000. Any amount of money which you really feel like can help these kids. Please just use the M-Pesa number on your screen so that you can help these kids. Nobody knows, we cannot say that, I can't help a kid, si mtoto wangu. Hawezi kuwa mtoto wako, lakini we all know how maybe these things normally comes later. So just a humble request, please guys, if you can, just use the number on your screen. Just send your 50 bob, your 100 shillings, 200, 300 shillings, whatever you have. We'll make arrangements and then tutaona what we can do. Kama tutawanunulia vyakula, kama itatosha mpaka manguo, we can do that. It's something that they requested that we do because saa zingine though watoto walali njaa, but sometimes I talk to the director told me that sometimes they really struggle how they can get food for the kids, you know, the kids just to be happy and all that. Actually the kids were very happy seeing me. They were saying the director told me that wanapenda sana wakati mtu amekuja kuwaona mtu mwingine mgeni apart from wale wenye wamezoea, because they feel that they are really loved indeed. So please, that is the project that we have this month. I would request you that I'm humbly requesting you that let us do this for the sake of these kids. Wale wenye walikuwa wanasema kwamba pesa yangu siwezi peleka kanisani kwa tithe, ili nipeleke kwa children's home. Now we have a project. Please just come through and we see what we can do. Now let me just humbly request you guys that let us come together and help those kids. They really need our help. I've seen people responding. Please just keep on responding. They are our brothers and sisters. We can't just neglect them. The job that you're doing, what you're doing is very much wonderful. I've seen people responding. You're 1,000, you're 2,000, you're 100, you're 200 shillings. Usione kwamba uko na 50 bob, it won't be enough. Hiyo 50 bob tukiongeza na 50 ingine, inaweza nunua pampers, especially to those children wenye wako na 10 days old. I think right now wako na around 13 days. Because it's 3 days since niende huko. You see, such kind of things can really help. So please don't say that, oh, maybe hii pesa yangu kidogo haiwezi kasaidia. It will really help, and all shall be well. Let's get back to our discussion. And first of all, I want us to listen to Rigathi Gachagua saying one statement here, and then we embark on the discussion.
The choir master is saying, yeah, ndiye alituambia hiyo maneno.
Sasa ulikuwa kwa chorus.
Yeah, tulikuwa chorus.
But have you now changed your mind?
No, me now I'm a choir master. So those who are behind me.
So
now,
the song has now changed.
I have a different song.
Why should they believe you now?
But that was not my song.
It's just a song that you.
No, it was not my song.
You're still the same chorus, and now you're the choir master.
That song was not mine. I was a member of the choir. Choir ilikuwa ya William Ruto, ya kupiga Raila Odinga na Wajaluo. Sisi tulikuwa choir members. So tunafuata choir master.
Ulikuwa unatumiwa wewe?
We were members of the choir.
But this new song, have you now changed your mind?
I have said.
Why should the people?
I have given you
yes.
An analogy.
Why should the people believe a choir master or a chorus master who changes tune?
It's up to the people to believe.
It's like they're asking you.
If they, I don't know. They will listen to me. They will listen to me and decide.
You painted the Luo nation as a nation that is chaotic, violent.
I didn't.
In fact,
William Ruto did. It's not me.
It is not me. I'm quoting you. You said at some point that a community has been castigated as people cause violence every single time.
I've told
that
you.
That was you.
I've told you.
Directly.
I've given you a very good explanation.
Community.
I've given you a very good explanation that I was a part of a choir, and our choir master was William Ruto, and our work was to repeat the chorus from the choir master, who was also the composer.
At what point will you take responsibility for your own utterances?
I am saying
because now you're saying that he's the one who told you to say it.
No, I'm saying, Trevor, we were in politics. And
are you still in politics now?
Yeah, we're in politics.
So why should they believe you?
I am saying we were having a contest between Raila Odinga and his people. And that was the politics of the day. I am not in politics with Raila Odinga. There is no presidential candidate from the Luo nation who is facing me. So there is no conflict. That was a contest. People are looking for positions. And there is a conflict as it goes on in politics. So they will be trading here and there. Why William Ruto now is abusing me? He was abusing Raila Odinga then because he was his competitor. Today, his most strongest competitor is Rigathi Gachagua. And so he has just changed tact. Yeah. The way he was abusing Raila Odinga is the way he's abusing Rigathi Gachagua because I'm his competitor.
Do you regret this abusive language that you and your former boss have treated the nation to?
I have not abused anybody myself.
You started this conversation.
I did not start.
Did you describe the president as having
I made that description. That description is true.
That is considered body shaming.
There is no apology to make. I described the way he looks. I did.
Chapter 6 of the Constitution and Integrity, Article 73.3, says that state officers should behave in a manner that bestows respect
I'm
and
not
dignity.
I'm not a state officer.
You've been the second in
I
command
am not
in
a
this
state officer.
country.
I'm not a state officer.
So are you now allowed then to
I am not a
just
state
abuse
officer.
your other fellows just because you're not a
I
current
am not a state officer.
You've been the second in command. Do you regret the statement?
I have no regret whatsoever for my utterances. I made a true description that our other Kenyans have made. I'll continue speaking truthfully. You know, people say when people who steal, what are they called? They are thieves. People who do this and that, they must be described for who they are. And if anybody has a problem, you can take me to court.
Do you believe that statement is demeaning?
No, it's not.
What do you think it is?
It's up to you to think what you think. I've told you
I'm not the one who made the statement.
I have nothing.
Was it demeaning?
I have nothing to say about it. I've said it's a true description of what I see.
What does the appearance of the president have to do with governance?
Well, you'll have to ask him.
You are the one who described him.
I'm saying it's you to ask him why he's so agitated.
But I'm speaking to you, and you're the one who started this conversation.
You are the one to ask him why he's so agitated.
Tumekuuliza kwa sababu wewe ndio ulikuwa mtangulizi wa jambo kama hilo.
Are you a lawyer for the president?
This is waandishi wa habari.
No. You also cannot. Are you here holding his brief?
It's a question that everybody
No. I can see.
You're a lead.
Are you holding a brief for William Ruto?
Honorable Gachagua, you've been the second in command in this country.
Can you?
And you're now thinking of being the head of this country.
Have you?
Do you think those statements were regretful?
What I would ask you to have you as a president whether he has regret.
I'm speaking to you now, not to the president. We'll speak to the president at the right time.
Tumekuuliza kwa sababu tuko na wewe hapa na wewe ulikuwa mtangulizi wa
I don't think this interview you hold brief for President William Ruto.
We're not holding brief for
in my view.
We're asking you to be accountable for the words that you said.
In my view, I had hoped that you would ask me issues of development to do.
We will get to that. Let's clear out a few things.
Kuna maswala.
I refuse to. I refuse to have you have.
Kuna maswala ya uongozi na uadilifu.
I've already answered that question. I have nothing to.
Will you approach ODM and have a conversation around coalitions with them? Because Wiper has given that
coalition making is a continuous process. We are waiting to see what happens after Ruto breaks down ODM and what remains and whom we can deal with.
How will he break it down? Because there's been no conversation about dissolving
already.
It's a conversation about a coalition about
Oburu,
this government.
Junet, Wanga, they have sold ODM to Ruto. It was sold in Kirigori.
There's no evidence.
Did they say all the ODM and what is the evidence to that effect?
I've just told you.
Waliuza chama kwa pesa ngapi?
We know these things, my friend. We have been around for a long time.
No, explain
when Rigiji tells you your wife is pregnant, go and buy that.
No, let's explain this to us, Mheshimiwa. So you are working currently with the DAPK and Wiper and everybody else. Have you bought them?
No, I've not.
So why is it that when UDA is working with ODM, then they've been bought?
You see, they have been bought. That is why they want to kick out Sifuna, the Secretary General of the party.
No. Let's talk about
that. That is why. No, listen.
So why?
You asking me why?
Yeah. Have you bought this?
No, I've not bought anybody.
They don't. So why is building the other coalition between ODM and UDA a matter of one buying the other and not coalition building?
Because the people who sold ODM don't want Sifuna. Because Sifuna has refused to sell ODM to William Ruto. That's why they have called an NDC to kick him out. And that will be the death of ODM. And that's what Ruto wants. He wants to kill ODM. He told me myself that I'll kill this ODM. I cannot allow
again, that is hearsay. So we cannot verify that statement because that was a conversation.
Go and ask him
between the two of you. How much was ODM bought for?
I don't know the figure, but a deposit.
So how then do you know it was bought?
A deposit has been paid.
How much deposit?
What?
How much deposit?
That is a story for another day.
No.
So you're the one making the allegation.
I'll go and find out also.
You're the one making the allegation.
Ukasema sisi kazi yetu ni labda kujua zaidi.
Pia nyinyi mfanya kazi kidogo, mimi nimepatia nyinyi tip, nyinyi mfanye hiyo ingine. You are also investigative journalists. Go and find out the figure. Okay. And let me tell you what happened. My brother, just open up your eyes. I've done oral literature. I studied law customs. Death and burial is a very strong and emotive issue in the Luo nation. Okay? Raila Odinga dies. Before his body arrives in Kenya, ODM has changed hands. In an African setup, and among the Luo have studied oral literature, you don't inherit a man before he's married. ODM, Raila was the leader of ODM. He dies. A team is sent to go and bring his body. Junaid Mohammed conveniently becomes sick, he doesn't go to collect the body. Suluhu gets sick, conveniently doesn't go to collect the body. Oburu, conveniently the brother doesn't go to collect the body. Before the body arrives, National Executive Council is convened.
Let's discuss that. You've heard Rigathi Gachagua talking about the issue of ODM being bought by UDA, and it's like he's being asked, okay, how much? Tell us how much, and then he's saying that there is the story for another day. But I want us not to watch this. I want us not to watch this video with a lot of emotions. I want us to look at two things here. I want us to look at person Gachagua and person Ombija. Number one thing that we all must agree is this, that Trevor Ombija wants to become a member of parliament. Basically, Trevor Ombija is a politician. Nataka tuelewane hapa, that this interview was between someone who is a politician and another person who wants to become a politician. So a lot of issues, a lot of things were expected, or a lot of things that were expected here, of course. Number one, there's one person who wants to do two things at the same time. That is Trevor. Trevor Ombija wants to accomplish two missions. Number one, he wants to accomplish the job or the work as a journalist by interviewing Rigathi Gachagua. On the other hand, he also wants to accomplish the mission as a politician. Now he's facing the real politician, so he must also argue based on his political knowledge and understanding. Nataka tuelewa, nimesema kwamba this video, let us know to watch it with a lot of emotions, because there are a lot of things, there are several things that I want us to learn here. Trevor Ombija anataka kuwa MP. Na mtu anataka kuwa MP ametumwa aende aka interview mtu ambaye anataka kuwa president. What do you expect? Number one thing that most we have to expect is Trevor Ombija is going to do, he must do an interview with a lot of emotions. Because ukijaribu kusikia hata venye alikuwa anauliza Rigathi Gachagua maswali, yes, they are good questions, but now they were emotionally driven questions that are driven with emotions. You understand? So I think that is one of the mistakes that happened. Trevor Ombija alienda ku-interview Rigathi Gachagua, lakini alienda with a lot of, yes, people expected too much, and he delivered. But now what he delivered was not exactly what people expected. Nataka tuelewana hapa. There is a way you can tackle something. There is a way you can handle someone and people detect. You understand? Kuna jinsi ambavyo unaweza kaongea na watu wanaelewa, wagundue hapa kuna kitu ambacho kinaendelea. So Ombija interviewed Gachagua based on two things I've said. Number one, as a politician and as a journalist. As a journalist, he did his part, but now aliingiza emotions because I also had people saying that, oh, Trevor Ombija ametumwa, so ili apate ticket ya ODM lazima angefinya Rigathi Gachagua to the core. But I would say that Rigathi Gachagua was also smart and answered the questions in his own way. Let me just say that, in his own way. But then let's also look at person Gachagua. Person Gachagua also wants to accomplish 3 things. Number one, Gachagua wants to prove to people that he is still smart in politics. Tuelewane tu hapa. Gachagua also wants to prove to people that he is smart politically and he is untouchable. That is number one. Number two, he also wants to prove to the Luo nation that they're going to lose a lot. Remember when he said that Luos are going to cry, that they should ask Kikuyus what happened, or what William Ruto did. Of course, all of us knows very well that William Ruto is a cunning guy, and you can't really believe in William Ruto. If you try to believe in William Ruto, you are the one that is losing. So Rigathi Gachagua tried this interview, and I would say that sometimes if you are saying that you want to be a leader, you should mind what you say. Because I heard Rigathi Gachagua saying that when he was a deputy president, second in command for that matter, he's saying that he was under someone. So the person that he was under was a choir master. and it was just a follower. It was a praise and worship team. So being a praise and worship team, you had to follow what the song that the choir master was singing. And I have a problem on that. If you are a person who can follow, who just follows what someone tells you to do, and you want to be a leader, it remains a question that where is your integrity? Like, if you can just decide to follow others, wewe unaamua tu na unafuata mtu. So what if now you are the one in that position? What if now you are the person that now people are supposed to follow? What are you going to tell people? You understand? What is it that you really have that you're going to show people that now this? Can you give people direction? Yes, ulikuwa chini ya mtu. Huyo mtu hakuenda ile njia mzuri. So in other words, what are we supposed to expect from you as a leader who wants, as a person who wants to become a leader? You expect us now to be folding our hands and all start saying that, oh, you know, this and that. It doesn't work like that way. I don't think it really works that way. I don't think so. Maybe if you maybe, I don't know your side, but I think there is a problem somewhere. Very big problem. And this problem, I don't know how it's going to be tackled or how it's going to be handled. I think the best and the only way is for our leaders to realize that they are being followed by others, and they always really should mind what they say. There are a lot of things. Gachagua also talked about not going to Raila Odinga's burial. He also talked because he's expecting Mama Ida Odinga to call him. Up to now, bado wanangoja. They were told to wait. I don't think if they'll be called, Gachagua will be called. But it's 5 months. Tangu Raila Odinga kufa, si ni 5 months. Hata kama ni kuitwa, si angeitwa kitambo. Anyway, I really don't know what you are saying. We also talked about shares, and according to shares, Gachagua said that he won't lose. Like right now, I think what he's trying to say literally is that it's time. It's basically time for Luos also, because remember when he was talking about shares, Kikuyu's shares here and there.
To Orengo, I'm listening to Babu, I'm listening to Sifuna, and I agree with him that we need good, strong political parties for Kenya's democracy. I'm in agreement with them.
So you're likely to work together?
Yeah, why not?
Have you had a conversation of working together?
Not yet, but why not? Politics, as I told you, is dynamic. We can work together.
Okay. Yeah. But are you willing to have a conversation with Oburu Oginga?
I have no problem. I can work with anybody. Okay. I can work with anybody who wants to work with us. We have no problem.
Including President William Ruto?
What?
Are you willing to work with President William Ruto?
No, I'm not willing to work with President William Ruto. He's bad for the country. He's destroyed the Kenyan nation. We had very good education system bequeathed to us by Mwai Kibaki. Free primary education. He has destroyed it. We had day secondary school bequeathed to us by Uhuru Kenyatta. He has destroyed it. We had Leader Mama, destroyed. He has sold public assets, Safaricom, Kenya Pipeline, JKIA.
But all these are being done by the approval.
We have a shell of a country.
But are being done by the approval of the National Assembly.
No.
It's an entity given that mandate to do so.
There is no approval. And by the way, the National Assembly is also captured. Yeah, it's not a house that now represents the people. Working.
All right. We're about to give you a chance to give closing remarks because we're running out of time here. But there's a question here from one Eriko Kach from Kisumu. This says the families say it's a rather insensitive question, but we'll just ask it because the people have asked. Can you respond to Ruto about the murder of girls after impregnating them? Eriko Kach from Kisumu.
I cannot respond to nonsense, pettiness, and gossip. President has sunk too low. He has become a gossiper. Instead of addressing real issues affecting this country has a debt of 14 trillion. He is not bothered. We are facing a crisis on fuel shortage. He is not addressing it. He is on top of a vehicle saying that somebody's cow has died because of a tick. What kind of pettiness is that? Hata ng'ombe ya mtu ikikufa na wewe ni president, unaongea hiyo ni maneno ya ujinga na fitina ambayo haina haja.
He's only dedicating 1% of his time to respond to you.
No.
You're the one who started this
but the kind of things he's talking do not warrant my response. They are too petty and too childish. Let me talk about one thing that you never allowed me. There is a project called Korusoin Dam.
Yes.
Uhuru Kenyatta allocated 20 billion. That was a dam that would serve the people of Kericho and the people of Kisumu. It would address the floods in Nyando so that when it rains, the water can go to that dam. That dam would have produced electricity for the Luo nation. It would have given water for domestic and for irrigation. William Ruto removed that 20 billion. When he comes to Nyanza, the people of Nyanza must ask him, why did you remove the 20 billion from this project that Uhuru Kenyatta had given the people of Luo Nyanza?
Are you aware that there's an appeals by the two contractors contesting the award of the tender for that particular project?
Kabonyo Fisheries Training School, 3 billion shillings through the Hungary nation, allocated by Uhuru Kenyatta. It was going on, it has stalled. The people should have asked him, instead of abusing Rigathi Gachagua, tell us about these projects. When you look at the sugar factories, Miwani, Soni, Muhoroni, Chemelil, they have all been sold to people. 10.2 billion shillings owed to employees of that region. People are committing suicide. Their properties are being auctioned. I did not hear a single...
How many people have committed suicide so far with regards to this?
Quite a number. Sikusikia kiongozi hata moja, Oburu, nani, Suluhu, hakuna mtu aliuliza Ruto, hii 10.2 billion, mutalipa hiyo wafanyikazi lini? Mambo ya wakulima, they are owed almost 500 million for these sugar factories that were sold without public participation. Those are the things I wanted us to discuss.
What did you do during your tenure as the deputy president to address the issues of the sugar subsector in the region and the environment and aquaculture?
The horses have left the stable. William Ruto has sold those factories to Asians and other people.
I'm asking when
these factories,
during your tenure,
these factories, the people of Nyanza should have been given an opportunity to buy shares. They would have owned them and they would take care of them. But they were sold to Ruto's friends. We are now there in Nyatike. There is gold. Chinese have been given the rights to come and prospect and also to do the processing. Why can't people from Nyanza be given an opportunity to participate in the prospecting of gold and processing of gold?
All right.
Those are the issues I had wanted us to discuss. The issue of fish, let me tell you, my brother. Instead of William Ruto coming to the Luo nation to abuse Rigathi Gachagua the way he was abusing Raila Odinga, what you need to do for the Luo nation, and that is what I will do when I'm president, we must discuss the resource given by God, fish, in the Lake Victoria. If you really want to empower the Luo nation, forget about all these other things, is to come up with processing plants, is to come up with empowerment for people to be given fishing nets, to be given boats to go and get fish, because this fish is very expensive, and it's unfortunate that people are wallowing in poverty when they have a resource next to them, they are in the lake.
Are you admitting that during your tenure as the deputy president, you couldn't push for the Luo agenda in terms of
There's
Luo
nothing
economy?
I could push for. The government that I was deputy president is a one-man show. William Ruto micromanages everything. He even advises his own advisors on how to advise him. He decides everything. We were just there, just struggling, trying to make ends meet, and he says you there, he says you there and there, but he does everything, and that is what we want to change. We want to have a government that has institutions that are working. People who have been appointed, they can go and work.
All right.
And let me also tell
I'd like to give you a chance for closing remarks because we run out of time here, but I was looking at the Kurusoin dam that you talked about. There was no 20 billion that was allocated. In fact, it was 2 billion. It was allocated but removed in 2020. Because it was too little for the project, which was 19 billion, that you can't put that 20 billion could not be allocated in that financial year. But even then,
have you been told what happened?
Let's have your final comments because we run out of time here. Just a minute.
Well, Trevor, you have been very biased in this show, which is very unprofessional. Because anyway, let me not go into that. Let me say my closing remarks. I've heard these people talk about broad-based at the Luo Nyanza is in government because of 2 ministers. The Luo Nyanza had a vice president called Jaramogi, but they still agitated for justice and rights. They never became complacent because they had a vice president. The Luo nation has had a prime minister. Raila and the Luo people still stood for what is right and justice. The people of Nyanza cannot be bought by positions. During Moi's time, out of 18 MPs, 17 were ministers and assistant ministers. But the Luo nation still stood for what is true and right. I want to tell the Luo nation, you have 2 cabinet positions. Wadai is there for energy. More than 70% of the Luo nation has no electricity. It doesn't mean because Wadai is eating, the Luo nations are eating. We, the mountain, have 8 ministers, but we are opposed to William Ruto because he is doing the wrong things. And those 8 positions are for individual ministers and their families. So these 2 positions the Luo nation have are for those 2 families. It cannot be that the community now can become complacent. They cannot question what is wrong. They cannot question what is not going on well in the country. They cannot demand what is rightfully theirs and they pay taxes because they have 2 cabinet positions. The Luo nation has always had very senior positions, but it's a dignified community that has always stood for what is true and what is right. Okay. I'm asking the Luo nation, much as you have 2 cabinet positions, fight for your right, fight for what is just, and make sure that you position yourselves properly so that the interests of your community can be taken care of in the future.
Will you be visiting the Luo nation soon?
Yes, I will.
When is it? When?
Well, soon. I'm just working my things around. I hope Raymond Omolo will not sponsor violence against me the way he has been doing in Nairobi. He's been mobilizing people in Nairobi to attack churches.
Allegations that
no, it's true.
He
can take me to court. He organized violence in Kariobangi Church.
You have evidence for this, so you can take this to court.
Even this attack on Orengo is Omolo.
So you can take this to court?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
He is the one who has been organizing violence in Nyanza. And I want to ask Raymond Omolo, stop violence.
So when are you coming to Nyanza?
I should be coming soon.
Okay.
Will you be organize myself?
Will you be fielding candidates in DCP?
Well, I'll come.
Will DCP be fielding candidates in that area?
I want to tell the Luo nation that if ODM joins UDA, those who are independent people and minded, who are not psychopaths, if you don't come to DCP, you are goose is cooked. You will never get a certificate. DCP is available to the Luo nation. All those leaders who are courageous, who are brave, who believe in the people, who want to go to parliament to fight for the Luo nation, DCP is your party. Even here in Nairobi, I have very many aspirants who have come to DCP. Okay. And I have told the Luo nation here in Nairobi to be careful. Because previously, the ODM has had 9 MPs in the city, courtesy of Wiper, courtesy of the Malembe nation, courtesy of the Kisii nation. Okay. Those nations are not with Ruto. Ruto has no votes in Nairobi. So if you go and make a partnership with Ruto, where will you get votes? Okay. You people must align yourself with the realities of Nairobi politics. All right. The Nairobi politics, as we speak today, is in the opposition. All right. So if they decide to join Ruto, they will not get a single position here in Nairobi. And I'm saying, like Ruaraka, if I get a good candidate from the Luo nation who wants to run at the DCP, hey, voila.
All right. Thank you, His Excellency. His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, the DCP leader and also former deputy president. Mane kama weche nrumarwa mar buch jopiny kawuono nwarie ema chwalore matin kwa chako gi wach marangi chwelo mochoko chopo nyaka oyimore kata buch jopiny bende wago mana kae ndigi ogaye mar DCP gi